The second this video gets released tomorrow, I will be undergoing a procedure that is going to change my appearance for the rest of my life. Today is Preop, which means that it's the day before surgery, before I get my boobs chopped off. And I wouldn't say I'm nervous. Okay, I'm a little nervous. But I don't think I'm not nervous about, like, you know, the whole surgery aspect, getting put under. I mean, I had 11 surgeries where I got put under in 2020. That's nothing that's new to me. It's more the concept that I'm going to look different for the rest of my life after this. And that's definitely a good thing. Gyno is something that I've struggled with ever since I was a kid. It's always been in, like, the back of my head for every decision I've ever made. Every time I took off my shirt, it was always that concern of, like, you know, hiding a little bit or something. Just figuring out ways to, you know, not let people judge me for them. Even though originally it was completely out of my control. I mean, I've had this since I was like 16, and this was before any enhancements happened. So I'm pretty excited for this. And as for the actual place of procedure, I couldn't be more excited. After spending the entire day there just getting absolutely pampered through the surgery, that's going to be a whole other video, by the way. It's absolutely amazing what a facility they have and the staff they have there in place. So we're going to start the day by heading over to the surgical office where we're going to have a conversation. He's going to take the before pictures, and yeah, time to do this. All this is going to be gone. Like, look at that. Like, the gland is like the size of a golf ball. It's about this big. Put in the comments below how much you think that the entire flab of skin is going to weigh. Okay? So it's going to go from here. It's going to open up, go all the way around into my lat till around here. Tell me, how much do you think this entire flab of skin and fat is going to weigh? Let me know. I'm excited to see. All right, let's go to the surgical office.
So is it hot enough in here for you?
It is indeed very hot. I'm sweaty.
Well, as you know, I mean, gynecomastia tends to look much better when it's cold. And if you photograph patients at room temperature, you may be showing 20 or 30% of their gynecomastia problem. Because obviously it's much more noticeable at warmer temps. So
when the nipple gets soft.
At the pool, on the beach, getting out of the shower, that's when it's like maximally evident, right? So we have the room warmed to 76. So right about the point that people start sweating, that's when it's warm enough for gynecomastia photography.
I run pretty hot, so this is far past. So we first started by taking some pictures to see how drastic the change was going to be after the surgery was completed. Then we had a conversation about safety and what the surgery was actually going to entail.
All right, so we've been over your medical history in pretty great detail. I think we have all the information. We've talked about your meds in great detail. Yep. And in terms of medical conditions, we've talked about Crohn's, and there really isn't any other major systemic issue going on, correct?
Nope.
And when we spoke before, you said your last Crohn's flare was November of last year.
My last bad one, yes.
Okay. And was that on or off meds, or?
It was still on meds, but it was after stressing my body through the bodybuilding show.
Gotcha.
So like,
okay, well that makes sense.
I was repressing a flare for about a month. Yeah. And then the second I let go, it took over.
Okay. We do take standard precautions. So for all patients having general anesthesia, we use what are called sequential compression stockings. And so they go on your calves before anesthesia. It's activated before anesthesia is induced.
Will they fit?
Yeah, we have. That's a great question. Yes. We'll put the extra large on you.
Yes.
And that mechanical activity reduces the likelihood of blood clots post-op.
Yeah.
And I've been in practice, over 20 years. I've never had a gynecomastia surgery patient have a deep vein thrombosis or pulmonary embolism. I guess in terms of wound healing, the main concern is survival of the skin graft. So the nipple areola complex full thickness skin grafts are going to be sutured in place, and they're going to have a sutured on bolster dressing that stays on for 2 weeks. And it's very important that the skin graft be completely immobilized for 2 weeks so that it can be revascularized. So, right. Starting about 24 to 48 hours post-op, microvessels will start growing into the graft from below, and that has to be undisturbed for 2 weeks. So at 2 weeks post-op, we take off the bolster dressing.
That's so interesting because I'm sure you have to do a little bit of research into the peptides that I'm taking. And BPC 157, one of its things is it speeds up the revascularization.
Yeah, it promotes neovascularization.
Wow. Oh.
Yeah. So
fantastic.
I'm on board.
Yeah. Okay. Good. I'll have my needles ready for the next day.
And so you'll have that single drain that lays underneath the incision on the left side, tunnels subcutaneously over your sternum, and then it's underneath the incision on the right, exits in front of your underarm, and that's in for 2 weeks.
Okay.
And so typically at 2 weeks post-op, we're taking the drain out and taking the bolster dressings off.
All right, so we just got back from post-op, and now we're going to go through this goodie bags and what is in this binder. Starting with the swag bag, first thing, this is pretty cool. It's called Ensure Pre-Surgery. It's a clear carbohydrate drink, 200 calories, 50 carbs, and it's literally pre-surgery. It says pre-surgery on the bottle. That's kind of cool. I've never seen this before. So I'm supposed to drink one at 10 p.m. I have 2 of them. This next one here, 5 a.m., right before 5 a.m. So like chug her down at like 4:50 or something. I guess the point of this is so I have some nutrition in me before going to surgery so that afterwards the healing process begins smoother. Next up, we have this special soap here. Chlorhexidine gluconate solution 4%. Antiseptic skin cleanser. Jesus. I shower with it tonight, and then I shower with this again in the morning right before going to surgery. And lastly, from the swag bag, never seen this before either. Arnica Montana. Seems to be a supplement, and it naturally reduces bruising, muscle soreness, muscle stiffness. 150 tablets. I take 3 tablets 3 times a day, so 9 a day. They just they're sublingual, they melt in your mouth. So they taste like raspberries. So that's all the natural stuff. Now what about the drugs? So these are drugs for after the surgery. Vincent actually gave me a bunch of these, so I didn't need them to get them from the pharmacy here. This is ondansetron, aka Zofran, for nausea. Because I take tirzepatide and gonna increase the dose, I might get nauseous. In case that does happen, this. After surgery, you don't wanna get sick, especially after they pump you full of drugs. Next up we have celecoxib. Pretty sure this is an antibiotic, if I had to guess. It'll be on the screen if it is or if I'm completely wrong. Next up we have mupirocin ointment. I'm going to do a little bit of research on this because I have no idea what it is. I'm assuming that this is for the healing of the scar itself. That would just make sense. And then lastly, we got, wow, crazy. We have Percocets. Take 1 or 2 tablets by mouth every 8 hours as needed for pain. Apparently, the pain control with the anesthesiologist that we're going with is so good that I'm probably not going to need this at all, which would be fantastic. But I'm probably going to take some for the flight home anyways, because flying after this sounds horrible, and I don't want to be awake for it. And then lastly, we have this binder, this beautiful binder here. I was totally wrong. Celecoxib is actually, it's to reduce pain and inflammation. Okay, so celecoxib is going to be my primary pain medication. If the pain gets too severe, then you take the perks. That's how it works. It is raining outside, and it is full sunny out right now. There has to be a rainbow. I think now that it's the end of the day, I'm a little bit more nervous. Not necessarily, again, like I said before, not for the procedure. I'm nervous for the mental that's going to come from this. Because if it's anything like losing weight the first time, I know that as I kept getting leaner and leaner and leaner, the body dysmorphia kept getting worse. So I wonder if that's going to happen today. Or tomorrow, I guess. Or the next day, whenever I'm conscious enough and off drugs to know what's going on with my life. But I just want to leave everybody with a piece of emotional advice. Don't listen to anybody that tells you to do less. The entire time that I was doing this journey, people kept telling me that I was going from one extreme to another. And at first it hurt, because I didn't really know how to interpret that. But now every time I see a comment like that, I get amped. I get so pumped, because that tells me I'm going in the right direction. Because if I listened to everybody else, I would be just like everybody else. And that's not something you want to be in life. We should always strive for excellence. We should never settle for anything less. And that's in no matter what you do. As a parent, as an artist, as a weight loss content creator, I guess. Always strive to do more. Never become complacent. And always, always, always chase greatness. The second this video gets released tomorrow, I will be undergoing a procedure that is going to change my appearance for the rest of my life. And I just want to thank everybody that's been here so far and everybody that's supported me this entire time. And with that, as always, don't be a dick, and let's change the world together.